not watch the video. It's a dangerous video. Do not watch it. Turn away right now. If you're under the age of 97, do not watch the video. Coach Greg, and today we're going to go over something you need to know. It's the top 5 most commonly faked PEDs, okay? I'm not telling you to use PEDs. I'm not telling you not to use PEDs. But if you do, don't you want to know what you're likely going to be getting? Okay, so this video is all about the 5 most commonly faked PEDs, and at the end I'm going to give you the least faked, the one you can most likely trust the most. Before we get into that, I'm not a doctor, nor am I an endocrinologist. I don't own an HRT clinic. I'm just a guy talking about what I know best, and that's PEDs. Well, after how to lose weight, which is by buying my freaking cookbook. Let's get right into it. The 5th most commonly faked PED. Rad 140. What is that? Well, it's a SARM. It's a SARM that helps to build muscle. So why this SARM and not others? Because frankly, lots of SARMs are fake. This one more often is why. It costs a lot of money to get. If you were to buy the raw ingredients yourself, you would in fact notice it costs a lot more than other SARMs you've heard of like LGD or Ostarine. Because it costs so much, the temptation to use another product instead of it to fake it is high. It's not that easy to get, so the chances are people that know that they can make money, they can make more money by giving you something else. So what are the chemical dealing specialists going to do? Okay, what they're going to do is instead of putting Rad 140, they're going to put in something else that's cheaper, but that still works. For example, LGD 4033. It works really well, and even at a lower dose, it's going to give you greater results. So if you put that in instead, you can put less of it at less cost to you and sell it, and the user is going to make gains, and they're going to say, hey, wow, this Rad 140 really does work. They're not going to suspect that it's fake. How would they know? What else could they do? They could put in something like Winstrol, Anavar, D-bol, any steroid. You're thinking, why would they fake a SARM with a steroid? Because steroids work quite well, and they're actually cheaper, much cheaper than the SARM itself. So you put in something that definitely works and works well, that costs less money, and you sell it for more profit. You increase your profit margin, you increase your gains. So Rad 140, one to be careful of because yes, it does cost a friggin' ton of money to make. Number 4, it's a steroid known as Anavar. Anavar is a lot more expensive than your typical steroids like D-bol, Winstrol, T-bol, and so on. Okay, Anavar costs a lot. It also works really well, and it's a highly sought after drug for both males and females. One of the safer ones. So the demand is greater and the price is higher. So what do people do? The salesmen. Well, instead of giving you Anavar, they give you something else like Winstrol or even D-bol. Preferably Winstrol because Winstrol and Anavar have similar effects on the body. They both allow for increased strength and muscle gains without a lot of water retention. So if you're taking Winstrol, you likely won't even know you're not taking Anavar. Winstrol is a much cheaper drug, and you could actually put even more Winstrol than Anavar, and it would end up being cheaper and your gains would be higher. Somebody could in fact be using real Anavar and be complaining that they're not making as many gains as the person using the fake Anavar, the one with the Winstrol. Well, how come you're gaining so much muscle? Oh, my Anavar must be fake. Meanwhile, yours is real and theirs is fake. See it all the time. Former clients, they bought it, they test it. It's not actually Anavar, and it's usually Winstrol because Winstrol is so similar, but much, much cheaper. The problem isn't really with men, it's more so with women because women have a much greater chance of virilization with Winstrol than Anavar. Okay? More chance you're gonna grow a beard, clitoral enlargement, deep voice, problems like that you don't want. Well, at least most don't want. So be very careful, especially when the price is too good to be true, that you're in fact getting real Anavar. Very often fake. At least 50% of the Anavar you're getting, it ain't Anavar, sorry. Telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Next is halotestin. Halo is not that common of a steroid, but those who do use it, it's very often faked. What does Halo do? Halo is going to give you an increased aggression and a hardening of the muscle, okay? It's very androgenic. It's the kind of thing you would want to use before a bodybuilding contest, physique show, photo shoot, powerlifting competition, strongman event, arm wrestling, you name it. Fighting, MMA, all that. Crazy aggression and strength without a lot of weight gain. In fact, hardly any weight gain. Okay, extremely good to get you going and get you that edge, but it's often faked. Why? Because it's extremely expensive, way more expensive than Rad 140 or Anavar. Way more expensive. So if you have a demand for Halo and you know people want to buy it, but you can't get it, or you're trying to increase profit margins, you substitute something else. Well, what could you give them? Winstrol. Winstrol is dirt cheap. You could put Winstrol instead of Halo at a higher dose, and the person taking it who doesn't have a lot of experience probably won't know they're not taking Halo. They'll say, wow, I took this fake Halo and I went to the gym and I got stronger and I felt it, so it's probably Halo. Probably not. Most of the Halo is fake. Over 50% is going to be fake again, okay? So if you are in fact taking Halo, chances are not that great that it's real. Number 2, you probably already knew this, growth hormone. Growth hormone is so freaking expensive that the temptation to make it fake, it's obviously there. You've seen various kinds, blue tops, yellow tops, green tops, from the pharmacy, not from the pharmacy, from China, from whatever country in the world. Most of the time it's not real, and when it is real, it's usually underdosed. They're faking it with things like HCG, adding in GHRP6, so you think something's happening. When you test it, oh, it seems real. Growth hormone is in fact one of the least effective PEDs out there. It hardly does anything. Y'all think it's the secret to getting huge and jacked. Oh, if I would only take that growth hormone, I would be a massive monster. I'd be a pro bodybuilder. I'm taking it. I'm taking the real stuff, taking the fake stuff. It hardly works. It works a little bit, of course it does. Just not as much as you think. Way less effective than even a SARM. SARM's more effective than growth hormone at way cheaper of a price, okay? So those of you taking growth hormone, it's not magic. And should you take growth hormone? Well, if your doctor prescribes it, if you're low on IGF-1, if you're getting older, if you need to have an anti-aging product. But if you're just a young guy in your 20s and you think it's going to make you Hercules, you're sadly mistaken. And even if you do get it, even if you can afford it, it's probably fake anyway. And the number one most faked PD out there in the world, Primobolan. Both oral and injectable. Why? Because it's so freaking expensive. It costs so much. And it's so easy to fake. So easy. You think people that inject Primo know, oh, I can feel that Primo kicking in. It's making me feel a special certain way. No, it's just a freaking anabolic steroid. So many steroids have similar side effects and similar results. Masterone, for example, far cheaper than Primo, but give almost identical results. How are you going to know you're getting Primo if you're taking Masterone? You really won't know the difference. I wouldn't even know the difference. I'm extremely sensitive to PEDs. When I take even 10 milligrams of Anavar, I feel it working. A lot of girls go, I take 10 milligrams, I don't really, is it working? I don't know. And I'm thinking, I took the same freaking pill as you, and I feel it. I'm a 200-pound bodybuilder. How do you not feel it? Guess I'm sensitive, lucky. I can tell when something is real or when it's fake. Primo? It's really hard to say, hard to tell. You can fake it with so many things. You could put EQ and Masterone. And a lot of times people just put straight up testosterone. Testosterone is so cheap. So you could put testosterone, no Primo, and frankly, they're gonna get even greater results. They're gonna build more muscle. Testosterone is stronger. So you put something cheaper that's stronger, the person uses it, and they get great gains. And they're like, well, I thought Primo's gonna make me more shredded. And you're like, oh yeah, but there's them carbs, you know, probably the carbs. You didn't do cardio. And so it's so easy to pass the buck and say, it's your fault, it's not the drug. And most people, they're not gonna go and have a test done to see if it's real or not. So they get away with it. So yeah, when you buy fake products, it's not usually completely fake. It's just replaced with something else that will give you similar results. Because let's face it, repeat business is great. If you sell a protein powder, you don't want them to buy one, taste it, and it tastes like crap and they throw it in the trash. You want them to like it and get more and keep buying it for years. So when you sell someone fake Primo, they're gonna wanna get something that works so they keep coming back for more. Repeat business. Their friends say, wow, that looks good. My goodness, you put on all this muscle. And then they want the same thing as you. And it's not even real, right, baby Nikki? Remember Nikki? Me and Nikki, we did a video on this a year ago, and Nikki was cute. And anyway, me and Nikki go way back.
Who are in it for the good and well-being of the general consumer, and all they do is care about your health.
And I didn't give Nikki Primo. Look at the size of those bigger balls. Nikki's got the bigger balls. And one of the problems with this again is women. That women are thinking that they're gonna get real Primo and they're not gonna get side effects, when in fact Primo actually gives a lot of side effects anyway. It's not actually that safe for females. Safer than some other products like testosterone, but not that safe. So if you're a woman and you're thinking Primo's the way to go, don't suggest that in the first place. And even if you do get it, 90% of Primo is fake. It's like, even though Primo is about the safest steroid I can think of, as in the least suppressive, the least likely to cause negative side effects and so on, it really is quite the good steroid. Not that I suggest any of you ever take it. Drugs are bad. Never take drugs, never take PEDs, never do anything bad in your life. Sit inside the house, don't go in the sun, live like a hermit. For sure, never eat anything with a chemical. Be careful, don't even buy my cookbook because you might make a recipe and put Splenda in it and die of friggin' Splenda because it's artificial sweeteners. Some of the recipes include fruit. Fruit as fructose could probably kill you, probably on first sight. Probably die making the recipe. Danger. So don't do anything I say, and don't do anything I do in this video. And don't even watch the video. Be careful. Do not watch the video. It's a dangerous video. Do not watch it. Turn away right now. If you're under the age of 97, do not watch the video. Only Grandma Josephine can watch the video. And on the opposite, I'm going to give you the one that's the least faked. And you're going to be surprised. You're going to be like, I did not predict that. I didn't think that would be the one. Testosterone. What? Yeah, testosterone. Why? Because testosterone is very, very cheap. It's so cheap, so you can make it real cheap. And it works really, really freaking amazingly now, doesn't it? It works really well, testosterone. It's dirt cheap. You can make a ton of profit on it, and it works. People are going to come back. Why fake something that's cheap and makes you a lot of money? And repeat customers come back. Testosterone. It's so cheap. It's so cheap that pretty much anyone could just put testosterone and call it every steroid in the world and say, here you go, and they take it, and they're going to make gains. And they're going to think it's great. So if you are, in fact, buying PEDs underground, which of course none of you are because it's illegal in most countries to do so. Some countries you can do what you want, not in most. So testosterone is the least fake. It's going to give you crazy gains. HRT is common nowadays as well. And that's just testosterone. That's all it is. Hope you learned something. There's my warning. Never do PEDs. They're bad. Anyone that does a PED is a bad person, including, it's like you're like Coach Greg. You're a bad human being. You probably don't deserve to live. But whatever. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. We bloop it up 2 videos as usual. Watch the top after watch the bottom. And until next time, I am out. We interrupt this video to play with baby Nikki. Yeah, I got the bigger balls. Why did you hide my girlfriend? I liked it in my girlfriend, and now I have no sexy times.